1. We are live. Okay, welcome back to the podcast, everybody. How you doing, Miguel?
How's it going?
How you doing?
I'm good. How are you doing?
I can't complain. It's not as hot as it's been, so that's nice. This week is set
Really?
to be cooler, so I am glad about that.
Yeah, I know. Summer's coming to a close. I think soon, right? It's usually like mid-August.
Well, I feel like the heat carries on into
Yeah, it's August heat.
well, I feel like it always carries into September too, and sometimes October. At least up here.
Yeah, you guys are more inland. I don't know. I just don't know. Every year the weather just seems more unpredictable.
Yeah,
So
definitely.
we just gotta adapt. But yeah, welcome back to another episode, guys.
Mm.
Thanks for tuning in. Really appreciate it. Um, this is episode 133, right?
133 episodes. Um, Couple of big announcements to talk about in terms of updates on the DCU, and we finally got our answer whether or not we're getting another installment of Scream, which you'll obviously be breaking down for us
Yes.
to see.
Anything Scream related, I'm gonna be on board. I'm gonna be there. And okay, yeah, I can't wait to talk about it.
No, you're good. And then
Things to
obviously,
say.
yeah, we got box office, and obviously we have smaller announcements in terms of the effects of the box office and how it's affected both Oppenheimer and Barbie. So we got some stuff. Before though, we've had some good quality films out in the last week or so. I mean, first things first, Across the Spider-Verse is hit digital yesterday at the
Yesterday,
time of
yeah.
you watching or recording or listening to this podcast. And then we also got Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle produced by Seth Rogen, which was absolutely fantastic. If you haven't checked it out, would definitely suggest checking that out. Um, but other than that, I don't. And also Talk to Me came out. Which
Yeah, doing really good as well.
with the audience or with what?
With the audience and as well it's how much it's made in its box office run so far.
Okay.
Which I will say like to counter to kind of like contradict what's been going on with like Haunted Mansion because people were kind of downplaying that movie or calling it a flop just because of like being weirdly misplaced. Like that movie should have been like a Halloween movie, right? I think it just deals more with its marketing, but I don't think its placement is anywhere. I think Haunted Mansion is a summer film, but I think you have obviously one side that is based off a Disney attraction and has that whole thing behind itself, and then we have an independent film from these two newcomer directors that was like produced by A24, so they
YouTubers.
have their own repertoire there as well, which is doing fantastically as well, especially for its budget that it was assigned. So obviously, it just really depends on the moviegoer. And if you're a cinephile like us, and you're going to catch this movie. I've yet to do so. I've yet to catch Teenage because I was going to do a double feature. I was going to see Haunted Mansion and then Get Out and then go in to see Talk to Me. Actually, Teenage. But then like after Haunted Mansion, I was kind of like on this like, oh, okay, I'm gonna relax type of vibe. So I skipped it and I haven't got a chance to check it out. But I will soon on my day off. So I know you've seen it, which you've given me really positive feedback on it, and I'm really excited to see it now.
Yeah, it was really really good. I enjoyed it. The cast overall is kind of a sleeper cast. If you look into it, it's kind of stacked. Um,
Yeah,
outside of the characters or the actors playing the turtles, it is pretty stacked. It's pretty enjoyable. I know. I think I was talking to you a couple of days prior to me seeing it, how I was like itching to watch Spider-Verse again, and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles kind of gave me that fix because I would say it's the same style animation. Uh, No, probably completely two different stories. Both take place in New York. If you don't know, the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles do live in New York. But it's overall, it gave me my fix of like wanting some Spider Verse content because I felt like I was kind of watching that, but a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles film. But it was fantastic. I enjoyed it start to finish. It's probably gonna drag me to the movie theaters again,
Oh,
alongside
nice.
Talk to Me, and even I still need to see Haunted Mansion. Um,
I enjoyed Haunted Mansion. I think I mentioned in the previous episode. I really did enjoy it, at least for me. Like you gotta separate, a film when it comes to it being. I think the story was great. I like the focus on it. Two very different iterations of what we've seen previously with Eddie Murphy's Haunted Mansion.
mhm.
Um, and if you like it, and if you also have a love for the city of New Orleans, you're gonna definitely enjoy this as well. And like the whole cast is phenomenal. Everyone has their moment to shine, but I think the standout, of course, is going to be Lakeith Stanfield because I just kept finding myself that man is a leading man, no matter what. Put him in any role, and you can obviously see if you kept up with his film, he has the versatility of being any kind of leading man he can be. So I really am encouraged, mostly for Lakeith's performance. If you're a stan, I encourage it because I really did love it, and I think I had a good time with it. I can't wait to for it to hit streaming, which is something I do want to discuss about in terms of that. But once we get to that topic,
Yeah, for sure, for sure. I mean, I can understand the war. I don't think it's completely unwarranted by people seeing this film that it's flopping because of its placement. Because I feel like you miss out on an opportunity to put a film out in October, especially with Haunted Mansion. I think we did discuss that a little bit on last week's podcast.
mm-hmm.
Um, Only because when you have to follow up Barbie and Oppenheimer, like you're sending your film out to die. And even
Yeah,
with Blue Beetle, you're especially with what's happening now with Oppenheimer, you've sent your film out to die. Uh,
yeah, because
so
people are gonna go see this movie still. Because I think a friend of mine, he waited until he couldn't get a screening for the 70 millimeter release up
same
until
here.
like the beginning of August, and people are literally waiting to see it in that format. So obviously its extended run makes sense, but if people are still seeing it, haven't seen it, and are gonna go see it, that's numbers already.
Yeah.
So
Sure.
it's and obviously if it tracks on into this release of Blue Beetle coming up, so yeah, it's something to discuss for sure. I think it's interesting, but it's also has to do a lot with the studios and their decisions in terms of like moving a movie to streaming too. I think there's got to be a fine line there where you got to give your motion picture its moment to have its full course run,
Yeah.
and that can be up to 2 months, like maybe a month and a half, instead
Yeah.
of it being kind of just out for a month and then being fleshed out. People don't go average. The average moviegoer doesn't go as frequent as we do. Like
Yeah.
people
Yeah.
probably visit movie theaters once a month, twice a month, and that's usually the grand majority of people.
Definitely.
Um,
I think
and
like
it also counts on their experience too. People want to see Oppenheimer 7 millimeter. More power to them. Absolutely, you should definitely check it out.
yeah, for sure. Two things I'll add. I feel like with like you say, giving your film the proper time to actually succeed. That's 100% true because especially how we said this summer season was so busy. There was something coming out every week. For example, Barbie and Oppenheimer, we had two films in 1 week.
Yeah.
And it's just like this summer season has been crazy
Yeah,
with
but
how
this is
much.
honestly one of the best summers to ever for cinema ever. I
Yeah,
think
for
in terms
sure.
of like for movie theaters too, because there is a movie for everyone out there. Mission Impossible, Barbie, Oppenheimer, Talk to Me, Haunted Mansion. It's packed. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. There's so much versatility in July slate into August, and
Well,
like
but it's not even just July. It's been since May that we've had film after film after film.
I mean,
Where
yeah, with Little Mermaid in May, and then so yeah, absolutely, yeah, stand corrected, yeah, since May. So it's been a great summer for movies. I
it's
mean, get
funny you mentioned Little Mermaid, but Guardians came out to kick off the summer, and
Oh,
And it's
I
just
have
like,
the poster in the background. I
yeah,
mean, yes,
exactly. Don't
yeah,
even
of
mention,
course,
like, the
Guardians of
one
the
film
Galaxy.
you mentioned in May is Little Mermaid as opposed to Guardians. That's funny. No, but
Well, which by the way is coming to streaming soon, you
I
guys.
think it's already out. It's already
It's
out.
already.
Yeah, it's
It
already
was
out.
the sixth. Wait, what? Is it already out?
Yeah, we're
Is it
recording
on
this on
Disney
the
Plus now?
7th. Yeah,
Oh my god!
we're recording this on the 7th, and you'll
I know
be.
what I'm doing after this.
Hey, I hear you. I was thinking about going to the movies, but I
Hmm.
got errands to
I was actually gonna go see Barbie, uh,
for the
in
third time.
celebration of its 1 billion. So just
Yeah,
to end my night
yeah.
correctly,
No, yeah,
just
definitely.
just so I can go have a good cry and
um,
make it back for dinner.
no, yeah, but definitely. And then another thing too, I already forgot my second topic, but that's fine. Or second point I was gonna make. That's fine. But either way, like you say, you gotta give the films the appropriate time. We saw so many films get pushed out because of how quickly this summer season was going. I mean, nonstop. We're near the end. It feels like Barbie and Oppenheimer kind of ended the summer season, with films still coming out and everything that has come out, such as like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, that is gonna make money and is making money, but it's not getting talked about the way still Barbie and Oppenheimer are even coming out. You know what I forgot? They also came out was Meg 2, The Trench. So
Oh yeah, which
yeah,
scored terribly, but audience
I'm gonna
we're like, yeah,
I'm
let's
gonna
go see.
I got those numbers for you. I'm gonna go ahead and just jump right into the box office. So coming in at number 5, we have The Haunted Mansion making $9.2 million, bringing its grand total up to $60 million worldwide, 42 of that being domestic and 18 million of that being international.
Why are you laughing?
That's a flop. That's a
My
flop.
money
You
is in there,
cannot.
okay?
Your $20 is in there.
My $25
Yeah.
for AMC stubs, okay, it's in there. So I bought
Oh my
popcorn.
gosh, that is a flop. Okay, coming in at number 4 is Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles: Mutant Mayhem, making $28 million in its opening week. And its grand total at $51 million, 43 of that being domestic and 8.5 being international. Coming in at number 3 is surprisingly Oppenheimer, making $29.1 million, bringing the grand total up to
Third place, baby.
currently sitting at $556 million worldwide, 228 of that domestic, and 327 of that being international. Coming in at number 2, in my opinion, no surprise, is the Meg, The Trench, making $30 million even. The grand total being 145 million of it as it sits right now. 30 of that being domestic, and 115 of that being international. And of course, with no surprise, taking the number 1 spot at the box office is Barbie, making $53 million even, bringing its grand total. We officially got the word that Barbie has hit $1 million. Greta Gerwig became,
Billion.
I believe, like the 7th or 8th director to hit $1 billion, joining the Russo brothers, James Cameron, Steven Spielberg, those just to name a few. But it's currently
good for her.
No, yeah, she's I think the first female director to hit $1 billion. So congratulations.
Yeah, she's made history
to her.
with this movie. Yeah, absolutely.
Congratulations to her. It outperformed, I think, what we both thought. But it's currently sitting.
I think you did say
I said it would
saying
top
that
out
it
at
would be $1 billion.
No, I said 800 million. I remember saying.
Oh,
800
really?
million. Yeah. But it's currently sitting at $1 billion and $33 million. 459 million of that being domestic, and 574 of that being international. Yeah. So obviously Barbie, $1 billion. You can't say enough, just because it's incredible. What the effect that this film is having. Obviously, we both very much enjoyed it. If you still haven't already, go check out the review to it, because we had a great time recording it. There's that review.
And I'm in studio, so yay.
Yeah, definitely. Reason to check it out. To go back to To go back to the Haunted Mansion, yeah, that dude. I'm sorry, that's a flop.
You were laughing. I was
That
like,
is a
damn.
flop. Come on, a
I mean,
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles outperformed it in a week.
on
And
a
this,
weekend, no?
well, no, it came out early in the week. It came out like on Monday, like
Oh.
August 1st.
Hmm.
Yeah, that's a flop. Unfortunately, um,
I don't know. It's still a good movie.
I still have
I mean, I know completely. Obviously, yes. There is a separation there. There is how much money this movie is going to pull in on the budget it's given versus the quality of the film.
no, yeah,
Um,
definitely.
it's it's evident. I mean, to me, I think this is why you always take the numbers part, because to me, numbers are confusing, and I've never been good at math. And what I see as a lot of money is a lot of money. But I mean, also too, I hope this gives Disney a wake up call at some point, which I doubt, because like enough with the remakes or the reboots. Like, focus on something else. Focus on like new storytelling, please. I mean, obviously, Haunted Mansion is a great example because they are very different films. I already said that, but like, please stop. I think I saw something online that said they were they were gonna do a animation of the live action remake for the Lion King, that was in the works.
Interesting.
And I'm just kind of like, what are you, why, like, why would you do that? The animation already, the original animation holds and is still going to be provided to be the best. So you're going to make a remake of the live act of the live act. It doesn't make sense. I don't know. So whatever, these studios obviously don't know what they're
Look,
doing.
I always said Haunted Mansion would benefit from being a TV show, a a legit like horror style TV show. Maybe like a
It
PG
has the potential,
13.
especially with all the ghosts in it,
Yeah.
and that's what this movie explored in it as well, because they gave everything that you've seen in the ride is there. Like, literally, it's like Easter eggs. Go to YouTube and you'll see 101, some type of title that'll be like clickbait, but it'll get everything that was the game. And they gave like characterization to these things of the ride, which I enjoyed, because if you're a fan of the game, of obviously the attraction, you're gonna find it and you're gonna pinpoint it, and you're gonna like the incorporation of the ride. It does feel great. That's what
Mhm.
I liked about it, because it's like revisiting, and it made me want to go to Disney again.
Which, you know what, though? I can see that being the sole purpose of this film coming out. For those who are seeing, is like attraction towards the film is like, hey, this is how the ride started. Because we know Disney ticket sales have been low for a while. People are unhappy with the pass system. There's a lot of issues with Disney right now. There are rumors they are getting ready to sell to Apple. Don't know how true that is. I'm pretty sure it's true. I don't know if that's going to go through. So I wouldn't be surprised if this film was a way to get people into Disneyland. But I think, yeah, you would have definitely benefited from releasing it during the holiday season, when they literally reimagined that ride for an entire like 4 to 5 months.
But they reimagine it in the sense where it's not Haunted Mansion; it's more of the Nightmare Before Christmas.
Yeah, definitely. But it's still a way to go and get people in during the holiday season, when you're more likely to spend money while you're at the park, because it's either the Christmas time or the holiday. I don't know. I'm thinking of like a business person as opposed to like, as a fan, I guess, from like the point of view. But yeah, no. However, I want to shift back to giving Greta Gerwig,
Oh yeah, let's talk about her.
congratulations, because she's there. I don't want to say there's a bit of an asterisk, but she's the first female director to hit $1 billion on her own. There have been female directors who have been linked to $1 billion films, but have been co-directors with another director, but that have been men. So like I think Frozen 2 is one of those examples. Greta Gerwig is going to be the only sole female director with $1 billion film for a long time. So that is a crown she's going to be able to wear proudly for a long time. Because like, I'm going to be honest, I feel like she set the standard. She set the standard.
Oh hell yeah! And that's only with 4 solo directings. Like, this is Barbie's her 4th,
Yeah.
and that's 4. Like, I gotta give her flowers. I'm very proud of her,
Yeah, for
and
sure.
obviously she made a fantastic film. And I think everyone should go see this movie again. And I can't wait for the release. I can't wait to own the physical copy of this damn release. I hope it's like a steelbook, Best Buy exclusive. Ooh,
Yeah,
I can
I
picture
haven't
it. I bet
bothered.
it's pink. Oh my god.
I was gonna look for the Oppenheimer, hoping that that gets a seal because that's something I'm definitely interested. I've only seen Barbie that one time, and I've been okay with just seeing it that one time.
I've
Oppenheimer on the
seen You've
on,
seen Oppenheimer twice?
no, I'm waiting to get what tickets to the 70 millimeter. So I'm still waiting because I don't know because like I want to see it again, but I know I can get tickets now to the 70 millimeter to where I'm just like okay. I don't want to go see it again and then feel like, ugh, I've had to sit through this one more time.
So
Um,
coming, I saw it twice already. I didn't get a chance to see it in 70 millimeter, unfortunately. Which, by the way, AMC Mission Valley, I got an itch to scratch with you, Miss, because online it said 7 millimeter, and I know we discussed this that it didn't have it, but for some reason it said 7 millimeter, and I thought, oh hey, score, because my roommate and I were literally thinking about driving all the way to Irvine to go see it because he wanted to experience it that way.
mhm.
And then we get there and it's not. And I'm like, okay, we could have just seen it in Dolby or like an actual IMAX because
Yeah.
it wasn't like IMAX, so we didn't have the recliner seats or anything. So what was up with that, man? But second point, seeing it twice, I definitely enjoyed it more.
Mhm.
I mean, obviously knowing what was going to happen, made things more structural, but I did enjoy it. Like I didn't find myself bored. You know what I'm saying? Like especially
Yeah.
for a movie that's 3 hours and 6 minutes long, I didn't find myself bored whatsoever, and I enjoyed everything twice. But it's a movie I'll only see twice. I'm not probably going to see it a third time until it hits streaming or I own a physical copy.
Or you can watch it in
Because
bits
it's
and
just
pieces, right?
what happened.
Or you can watch it in probably bits and pieces.
Yeah, where I can like
Yeah.
pause and go get food and come back and like rewatch it again,
Yeah, I
or like
completely
start
get
from
what you
there.
mean. I think that's
But
why
I
I'm holding out to watch it a
Exactly.
second
Yeah.
time.
A 3 hour movie will become 6 hours if I if I really wanted to,
Really.
but that's only because of me pausing.
Isn't that oh my gosh, that's probably the truest thing we've ever said on the podcast.
Dude, come
I'm
on. Like,
watching a
yeah,
film
oh
at home.
pause. Oh, this is really important, but I'm also making a grilled cheese, so I'll be right
Yeah.
back. Like but with Barbie, I only seen it that one time during the premiere and I want to see it again. I think I'm just scared too because I I did get really emotional after Barbie.
I think
So I don't know if I want to do that to myself again. But I haven't been thinking about the damn dance number with the Dua Lipa song, and then also I'm Just Ken. I haven't been thinking about it. It like haunts me in my dreams.
mhm.
So I've been wanting to watch it all over again. So I'll probably catch a showing
Are
sometime
you
tonight.
afraid to see flaws in a second time around?
Um, yes and no.
Because you know how
I
like you
think
get the hype of like the
yeah.
film first time, and then you go and see, you're like, you know what?
You're like, oh
It's not as good as maybe I thought it was. I think maybe that's why I'm also hesitant on seeing like Oppenheimer again, because
no, I think trust me. And obviously, please watch it in 7 millimeter. Like if you have the opportunity to do so, do it. You have two opportunities. You can either drive to Irvine or you can go all the way to University City,
yeah,
which you can do. But you got to think about the two traffics you want to sit in. You want to sit in the 101 or do you want to sit on the 5? Like it's up to you at this point. But
going down the 5 is nowhere near as bad as going down the 101 though.
100%.
In my
Yeah.
opinion.
The 101 gives me anxiety, especially when you go through that, like when you're entering downtown and you're like going through West Hollywood.
That curve right before you get into downtown.
Yeah, I hate it.
Is that
It's like
that
a 2 lane
mess?
curve. Like, girl, what were you guys thinking? Clear, I don't know. Anyway, um, I am a little worried about seeing the flaws, but I'm just gonna be like sitting there with my face and a giant smile, and I'm gonna be dancing and grooving, and I can at least like, feel good
Yeah.
while watching it. So I'll probably wear my Barbie shirt tonight.
Huh.
Um, but
To kind of move on in the sense of to give a little bit of more attention to the box office, the Meg 2, The Trench, did not sit well with our critics, giving it a
at all.
28% on Rotten Tomatoes, where the audience score sits at 72. This
Can you
makes
repeat the
sense.
Rotten Tomato score again?
So the critic score is 28% and the audience score is 72. That makes sense to me just because I feel like people who are going to see the trend, like you have to want to see the Meg to go out and see. Like I had no interest in seeing this. I have no interest in seeing this film. I don't know if I will.
Did you see the first one?
No.
What's the first one?
The first one's with Jason Statham, and I know what's his name has an appearance. Dwight Schrute.
Yeah, just watch it. And look, it's a monster movie. I think there is there's a sublet of a genre when it comes to monster movies that there's a list of. I can name some like Anaconda, and then that
Oh
one with the
yeah.
alligator.
Yeah.
Um, they're not like, think of it as the movie being camp in a sense, like camp horror. That's how I see these movies because I don't take them seriously. Like they're
Yeah.
unserious as hell. I'm not gonna sit there and be like, "Oh yeah, Jason Statham's acting his ass off, Oscar nomination."
Yeah.
No,
No. Yeah. Of
like it's
course. These are
like,
films you can't take serious. It's kind of like
yeah,
Sharknado.
Piranha,
Yeah.
Sharknado. Like there is that whole thing there. I mean, for Christ's sake, they made a sequel to Piranha, and it was called 3D Double D.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I mean, like, and now it's Meg 2, The Trench. So obviously it's gonna, critic reviews are gonna be like, this movie sucks. The audience are gonna be like, this is terrible. I love it. And that's how I sit with the Meg. And yeah.
There's also the film. You ever heard of Velocipaster? The Velocipaster.
No.
It's a campy horror film. So let me read you off it. Let me read you off
This
the
better be good
premise.
because you're bringing it up.
It's people are enjoying it. Those who have seen it. It came out years ago, but it's called "After Losing His Parents, a Priest Travels to China, where he inherits a mysterious ability that allows him to turn into a dinosaur."
You know what I thought when I heard Velocipaster? I thought of that early 2000s 10 meme when we first started memeing, and it's that Velociraptor with the claw, and he's like question marking things.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
You know what I'm talking about? I hope
Yeah,
you can put a picture at some point. But that's exactly what
I'll
I
try
think
and find
about
it. I'll try
when
and
I
find
heard
it.
it. When I heard about it. Like those were early memes. Now it's just like unhinged,
Yeah,
weird TikTok
there's some.
screenshots. But
No, yeah.
we've come so far.
But the last smaller topic of news is that Oppenheimer extends its IMAX 70 millimeter run due to popular demand. So Variety was the first to report on this. Ethan Schanfeld wrote the article saying, due to popular demand, Oppenheimer has extended its 70 millimeter IMAX run nationwide
Her.
until the end of August. The end previous date, which was already an extension to the film's original run to the IMAX format, was August 17th. Tickets for Christopher Nolan's atomic bomb drama has already on sale through August 31st at some IMAX theaters, as exhibitors will make them available on a rolling basis. Nolan, a longtime vocal champion of the premiere format, touted IMAX 70 millimeter as the best possible experience to see Oppenheimer because of the sharpness and clarity, and the depth of image is unparalleled. Only 19 theaters in the U.S. and 30 theaters worldwide have the capability to play the IMAX 70 millimeter format, including AMC Universal City Walk in Los Angeles and AMC Lincoln Square in New York, making those screens some of the hottest tickets in town. So the IMAX theater at Universal City Walk was the one that everybody was going to, at least in my area. I know you could still get tickets to the Irvine Spectrum location. However, they already had showings for Blue Beetle in the IMAX theater, and they've since then already removed them with the film coming out next week, and it is replaced with Oppenheimer. So
Yeah, that's messed up.
that is pretty bad, because I can only imagine how pissed like Warner Brothers is. I would have to assume they're less pissed. Well, no, I mean they would have to be pissed because of that, because Nolan isn't, or sorry, Oppenheimer is not a Warner Brothers film.
Technically, I mean, yeah, at this point, it's the studio's demand. But the thing is, too, it's the audience demand, which is great because at least there's a halfway point there. But it does sidetrack
Yeah.
other movies. Also, I wanted to add to this because it's not only the fact that it's kind of an issue that it's getting extended and pushing other movies out of its format. What's also affecting these movies is the longevity of their runtime at the movie theaters. Some movie like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, I think, is going to be ready to be streaming by September 5th. If I correct me if I'm wrong, which is like, dude, you only giving this movie a month to be checked out, like
I could see that
quickly. And then I mean, and then I think Barbie's hitting streaming in the fall, which is okay. That seems appropriate.
Yeah.
But you got, like, again, these studios have to give their movies the runtime to make their money, you know? And then
I think with Warner Brothers, they're probably okay considering Barbie is distributed by them and it's $1 billion film. And Blue Beetle is something like, hey, whatever we can get. Now whatever we can get is even less than what they're going to get considering it's not wherever you can shoot the 70 millimeter or you can show the 70 millimeter IMAX for Oppenheimer is going to be there. Obviously at your local AMCs are probably going to be Blue Beetle IMAX because if I'm correct, I think Oppenheimer's already out of the IMAX for standard AMCs that don't have the capability.
It's also out for Dolby, I believe, too.
That makes sense. But yeah, I mean, I do feel bad for Blue Beetle, but we've said it. It's sent out to die. This is when
it's
Warner
poor
Brothers,
presentation. That's all I gotta say.
This was like when Warner Brothers was sending out Batman versus Superman versus Civil War. We all knew what we were seeing that weekend until Batman versus Superman moved up 2 months. You know, so it's just like you know what you were doing. You know?
Yeah, at this point, that was a decision and it was made. But I mean, more power to Oppenheimer. At the end of the day, if you're going to go see these films, you're going to see these films in your own accord.
Yeah.
And one has the advantage of it being shot in a 7 millimeter IMAX format. So go experience the movie for what it's supposed to be, you know? I'm pretty sure I would have enjoyed it more had I seen it in that format, but I'll never know. Because there's no way, I don't think I'm watching that again for the third time. You know, I can only do so much. But yeah, man, I don't know what to add to that. I really don't know. I just don't know. My only thing was just saying, like, they need to figure out when to release these, when to give their appropriate runtime to these films to make their money, if that's their focus. Also, to hold off on the streaming for like a month or more. Yeah. You know, it's okay to not hit immediately because you also get revenue from that as well. So it really is up to the studios at this point. And I don't know what's going on completely, but I know that they're sweating.
Oh yeah, at least they're definitely sweating.
They're sweating. So get a little handkerchief for y'all, sirs.
They are throwing in the towel. At least Warner Brothers is, and Disney is with their bad films that they're releasing. We got two more topics. We got one more before we get to your time to shine with Scream.
The finale.
Yeah, that's closing out this show. This is this is gonna upset me having to read this. Because I think we all know where I stand with all of this. But Gal Gadot developing Wonder Woman 3 with James Gunn and Peter Safran. This is a comic book exclusive from comicbook.com. But Wonder Woman 3 is back on with Gal Gadot working with Superman Legacy director James Gunn. And the article writes, the DC universe is headed in a new film direction under James Gunn and Peter Safran. But it sounds like Gal Gadot is still going to be involved with Wonder Woman's future. Gal Gadot debuted as Diana Prince in 2016's Batman vs. Superman: Dawn of Justice. She then headlined 2017's Wonder Woman and its sequel, a 2020 sequel, Wonder Woman 1984, opposite of Chris Pine as Steve Trevor, both helmed by Patty Jenkins, while also appearing in the Justice League and the fully Snyder-helmed director's cut, as Gunn and Safran took over as co-heads of the reimagined DC Studios for Warner Brothers. Plans for Patty Jenkins to return for Wonder Woman 3 were scrapped. That left Gal Gadot's future as Wonder Woman unclear. Things became a little murkier when she reappeared in her cameo in Shazam: Fury of the Gods, but had a similar cameo cut from The Flash in starring Ezra Miller, where she would have appeared alongside Ben Affleck as Batman and Henry Cavill as Superman. This makes no sense because she still had a cameo in the film. Gal Gadot had some things to say on the new Superman casting. So DC Studios recently confirmed that David Crownsweet will play Clark Kent in the upcoming Superman Legacy film directed by James Gunn, opposite of Rachel Brosnahan as Lois Lane. Gal Gadot hadn't heard who had landed the roles, but said she was aware that testings were taking place and thought everyone involved seemed worthy of the parts. I saw they were doing different screen tests, but I don't know who got it. But it seemed like everyone were super legit and talented, like great. Gal Gadot says, "I'm so happy for them. It's such a huge take on, and it's such an exciting beginning to any actor. And I wish whoever it is going to be, or whoever it's going to be, has the best of luck and enjoys the ride." That's pretty cool of her to say that she's in support of it, considering how one of her co-stars just completely got the boot like 3 seconds.
Cool. Let me say, fake. You are fake. Don't like this. Why didn't she get recast? I'm not saying that she needed to, but why does she get her part and Henry Cavill gets screwed? Yeah, I don't sit well with this. I don't like that. And also, too, like, where's her placement then? And then, what does this mean for Ben Affleck?
Well, Ben Affleck's gone because we saw him erased in the Flash film. But here's the thing. Here's what we know for sure. Okay, we still know that Ezra Miller's still the Flash.
Stupid.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, he's the only connection they have to reset the timeline, so it makes sense. Which means if they really want to, they can go back to the Snyderverse whenever they want, which is also freaking dumb. We know Aquaman, or we still know that Jason Momoa is still Superman. Or sorry, Aquaman.
One of the mans.
Yeah, he's one of the. They all end in man.
One of the mans.
Yeah. Obviously, Batman was played by 3 different people in the Flash, with obviously Ben Affleck, George Clooney, and Michael Keaton,
and Nicolas Cage.
No, that was
no, I'm kidding. Yeah. That was Superman.
Yeah.
Sorry.
And now Wonder Woman's coming back. We know that Ray Fisher will never come back. He's already said it. He will never work with DC because of how Josh Whedon treated him, which is a shame. I'm sorry, but James Gunn looks like an idiot here. Well, both of them do, both him and Peter Safran. I don't know.
Like, of course, no offense to Gal Gadot, and I liked her as Diana.
Yeah, for sure.
As Wonder Woman, I had no complaints. And I haven't revisited 1984, and I don't plan on to.
Yeah.
But first one was great. I just don't know. It's just weird right now. It's just DC's until we see the beginnings of the plan that they have in motion, then I'll start giving a crap. But right now, I'm like, what are you guys doing?
Yeah.
What are y'all doing? Me? Nothing.
Their last theatrical good
hanging around. Sorry.
No, you're good. Their last good actual theatrical release was The Suicide Squad. Everything else has been
was a good movie.
Has been mid.
Also, Peacemaker. I mean, you did say theatrical. Max. Yeah, theatrical.
Everything else.
I missed that show.
Yeah, I mean, I hope they do a second season because that was James Gunn's start in this. So I would hate to see him abandon that. I'm sorry, but this is just so dumb. You go and say we're resetting the timeline, but yet you specifically keep Jason Momoa. You specifically bring back Ben Affleck, whether it was a cameo or not. You don't erase the Shazam verse, which we know is linked to the Snyderverse. We know it's in the same continuity. And now you're bringing back Wonder Woman while doing a Flash film where Ezra Miller is still the Flash from the Snyderverse. And now you have Blue Beetle that is going to make no money and is your first established film in this new continuity. I give it 3 years before Warner Brothers gives James Gunn and Peter Safran the boot. Yeah, I don't see any of these films succeeding. It's all over the place. Like, I believe in James Gunn that he can write a great universe and create something good. I find it hard to like. I wish he never said we're resetting everything. I wish he would have said, "Hey, we're changing some things instead, and keeping the best, or what we feel is necessary."
That's a good way of putting it. I don't know, man. I think obviously it's clear that the DCU is at the most unstable it's been. A reset is necessary. I hope I'll trust in James Gunn, as you said.
Yeah.
There's choices here again, and I'm not sure exactly where they lie and what the consequences are going to be for that. You know, where will that place her and her character as Diana? Will it benefit her? You know, is it just a thing to just finish her trilogy? You know, at that point too, like, what about Patty Jenkins? You know, like, even though the second one did kind of flop, she still held the first one and, you know, and the second one as well. But I don't know. I'm at odds here. I'm not too sure what to comment that can help because I just don't care.
Yeah,
Which is you know, that's where I'm at. I think
up.
that's like I just don't care.
I'm glad you bring that up because it is hard to care. It's hard to care that James Gunn is saying one thing and then doing the complete opposite.
Yeah.
They are doing now, maybe not doing the complete opposite, but doing some things that don't make sense. That I understand where we haven't even officially started his DC universe, but it's hard to have like, oh, I am so invested into this when the only person that has confirmedly gotten the boot is Henry Cavill.
Yeah, that's so unfair too because that's basically their leading man.
That's the one actor we all wanted back. That's the only one we all wanted back. It's
100%.
It's hard,
and I think, and that's like, you know, and that's also with non-fans as well.
Yeah,
you know, he reached that level, so we'll see how it turns out.
I am 3 years, 3 years max. And they got to make money. Blue Beetle's not going to make money, and this is James Gunn's first film in his planned universe. So
I wish the best for Blue Beetle, just because of obviously Latino representation.
Yeah,
but
definitely.
I mean, it's like, dude, sorry, you're at odds here. It's like, it's your parents, right? They're fighting, and they gotta meet each other halfway. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Hollywood's in a crisis.
Well, yeah. I mean, the SAG-AFTRA strikes, the strikes in general, are not getting any better, as we learned Monday, that both sides were not able to reach a negotiation, and things will continue to drag on. So, lead us into our final topic of this episode.
Oh my God, yes. The one good news, but it's still at odds. Just because of the strike, but also too, I think right now, so it was rumored that Christopher Landon was the front runner to direct the third installment of the new trilogy of Scream 7. That is basically kind of sidelining Radio Silence, who helmed the first two, Scream 5 and Scream 6. They did a fantastic job. They both directed and wrote it. But now they're taking the lead role as executive producer. So they're still going to be involved, but they're not going to be directing it, which put me at odds because I was scared. Like, I don't like the shift in that, especially when it's directors that have helmed them and produce, and I like what they produce. Mm-hmm. However, for those who don't know, Christopher Landon, he's actually the son of Michael Landon. Fun fact: the main lead from Little House on the Prairie,
Mm-hmm.
that's his son. So
Wow.
that's awesome. I dug into him a little more, but what I did enjoy um, more to know is that we are in good hands. For you Scream fans out there, we are in excellent hands. Just because of the fact that he has obviously incredible writing credits and has produced great movies that are along the genre of Scream. There is an opposing side for people that are fearing that Scream 7 is going to hit that curse of Scream 3 in terms of the trilogy, because Scream 3 is very different and apart from the first two, obviously. But that's only because of the rewrites and Kevin Williamson exiting the project, but still having an outline for them, and then the other writer coming in and finishing it off. Hopefully here is not the same issue. I'm worried though because of the writer's strike and how long that's gonna, postpone things. And then also the question of either Neve Campbell coming back, and hopefully coming back, but also too, I'm okay with her not coming back just because of the fact that it's no longer her story. She's just affiliated at this point. It's about the Carpenter sisters, and I really want Melissa Moretta and Jenna Ortega to have, their finalized trilogy as well, with the core four, where did they lead off? But going back to Christopher Landon, for those who don't know, he actually he got really good praise from one of his first screenplays, which was Disturbia. He screenplayed that, which is fantastic. For those, the 2007 thriller with Shia LaBeouf, and love that. I think. Did you see Disturbia?
Oh, I've seen it. Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Yeah.
How could you not?
So he's also
seen that.
Whatever.
How could you not?
I know
Disturbia
is such a good, such a fun film. And also, like, Shia LaBeouf was acting his butt off in that movie. I loved it. He also has writing credits for for Paranormal Activity 2, 3, the chronology, or no, sorry, Paranormal Activity 4. But it's his most recent and most notable, which I prefer, was Freaky and Happy Death Day, the two of those. And if you've seen Freaky and Happy Death Day, they're very Scream core because they're slashers. Obviously Freaky kind of being a little more camp in terms of its horror, but still having those elements of a slasher film, and obviously Happy Death Day with the whole thing in its own. I love things. There's a scene specifically in Happy Death Day with its camera work, and it's a chase scene. And I feel like off the bat, just because of seeing that film, we're really good, because the scene itself is the actress is running in the hospital, and it's following her at angles. And he's really good at that in terms of creating fear and paranoia and also claustrophobia with just his angles. And I think that's obviously going to be benefiting Scream 7, which I think if you guys haven't seen any of his work, go check it out. Obviously, with the exclusion of Paranormal Activity, because we already know. You already know why. But I'm really happy and excited for this. Of course, things are at odds just because of the fact that, Radio Silence isn't producing, the writer's strike, whether the question if Neve Campbell's going to be returning or not. Apparently, before the writer's strike happened, she was asked at a fan event if she was going to be involved for Scream 7. And she said, I'm not sure I can talk about that. And then the writer's strike happened. And then I think she might have pulled out because of the strikes. So
it's a possibility.
And of course, because obviously it's something that she is it's the reason why she didn't want to come back for 6, because of the pay.
Yeah.
And I feel like obviously that's relative and that makes sense. And, honor to her. There were also rumors of Jenna Ortega having conflict schedules and the film being pushed back because of her, because we wanted her back, but she's so busy, she's doing Beetlejuice and Wednesday and along other projects as well. So it was all just speculation. And obviously now with the confirmation of Christopher Landon, 1, I feel like we're in good hands personally. 2, it's just in the air exactly who's going to be writing it. I hope it's Radio Silence. It could be a whole different writer. But 3, I just really hope it doesn't pivot in the direction that 3 did, even though I think Scream 3 aged like wine. Personally, I think Scream 3 aged like wine. It took a while. It got fermented. It was a little añejo. You know, it takes about 8 years, and then it kind of becomes a better, more enjoyable film. Because I find myself revisiting that movie as a comfort movie
Oh
more. And if you
gosh.
really think about it, it was kind of ahead of its time because it was very obviously meta, but it was like targeting, studio heads. There's rumors that maybe possibly the lead of Happy Death Day will hopefully be that sounds really terrible wording this, but hopefully will be the opening kill, Jessica Roth, like they did in Scream 6 with oh my god, I'm blanking on her name. Oh, geez, don't hang on. Give me one
Oh,
second. I'll
are
find it.
you?
I promise. Because Radio Silence did Ready or Not,
Yeah.
and
Oh, you're talking about Samara Weaving?
thank you. Yes, and
Yeah.
she was opening kill for 6. So
Yeah.
we're fingers crossing. That'd be amazing. That'd be fun. Obviously, in honor of her, because Happy Death Day and Happy Death Day 2 are really good films, horror films at least, or slashers, and they definitely need to revisit if you haven't seen them yet. I did, and honestly, after rewatching them, I was like, "This is great." I'm
Yeah.
happy with the decision. I'm just worried about obviously the strike. It's just affecting everything. And I'm okay, honestly, if Scream takes a while to come out, Scream 7,
Hmm.
just because of the fact that obviously it was back to back. We had Scream 6,
Yeah.
2021. We had Scream 7 this year, right?
Yeah. Yeah. We had it. Scream 6 we had this year.
Yeah, this
Yeah.
year. So I'm okay with it taking like a 2 because that's what 3 did. So 96 was Scream, 97 was Scream 2, and then 2000s was Scream 3.
Yeah.
So I'm okay with that. I'm okay with a time jump. That way, if some characters don't return, which I doubt, because I know for sure Courtney Cox is going to be guaranteed. It's just the fact of Nev Campbell coming back too. But I know the core four are destined to be coming back, and then now too, with it kind of being a concluding franchise trilogy.
I think
Reapol,
too. Everything's pushed back too, overall
yeah,
with strikes. So it's just like if Knife Campbell is 100% out right now, the moment that the strikes are concluded, I'm sure that's going to be the first priority on the list. We're probably going to continue talks with her, between her and the studio. I think too, with Jenna Ortega, that issue is still going to be an issue again with the strikes, because if she's not acting, doing Wednesday or Beetlejuice, then there's issues there, which are still going to have conflicting issues. I'm going to say it's probably about 3 years away.
yeah, I'm okay with that.
Yeah, I think that's
Absolutely.
fine.
Like the Steelbook just came out, I think July. So go check it out. Go buy it or get a physical copy. I mean, a digital copy. Go rewatch it. It's on Paramount Plus. It's fun. I love it. I'm okay with my franchise. I'm really happy with Scream right now
Hmm.
because if you really look at them, it's none of them are bad.